This is RBR Short Films 13, aka Ryan, and today I'm doing a video about Scream 5 is completed. Yes, Scream 5 is has wrapped production completely, post-production. They finished scoring the film, sound mixing the movie, all that's done, and very exciting. Um, they definitely completed the movie much sooner than I thought they were going to. Um, Even though they did wrap filming, I believe, at the end of last year, uh, but that was very fast post production. I remember, but if I go back to Scream 4, I remember they wrapped filming Scream 4 in October. No, it was September, I believe. It was September, or it was early October of 2010. And the movie was in post up until March, I think. So that was November, December, January, February, March. That was about 5 months of post production, including reshoots and add on scenes that were included later on. So it is realistic. It actually, I think they worked on this one a little bit longer than Scream 4 in post production. It seems like, and also they scored this movie. Like, sadly, we're not getting Marco Beltrami, who scored the first four movies. Um, his music definitely fit Scream, and it's kind of too bad that his music won't be in there. And maybe he didn't want to come back because Wes Craven, is no longer involved. Uh, but I really loved his music, and there's going to be something missing there. Hopefully, a lot of his old themes will be, um, uh, I wouldn't say recycled, but reused in some places, or homages to those tracks, something like it. I definitely think they're going to do something really special with the score. It's just I have to get used to this new music composer. If I mean, this guy might score the next Scream movie after this, or I don't know, but it's not Marco Beltrami for the first time. It's a different music composer, so it's a little concerning. But at the same time, this is the guy that scored Ready or Not, and Ready or Not had a really, really good score. And uh, I just hope that it delivers, and it's not disappointing. Because the music for Scream is very important. Um, it's like it's another instrument of the telling the story of Scream and the character Ghostface and all the characters. They wrapped production. I don't know much more to say. It's just they completed it, and it's still coming out in January. I honestly think they should release it this December, even if that's right at the beginning of the month, early December, because that will mark literally 15 years since the original Scream. And oh my God, not 15 years. I'm that old. 25 years, 25 years of Scream. Wow. Um, it would make sense if it came out this December over in January, because that would really mark a good, anniversary of the original film and the franchise itself. Uh, to get it out in January at dead of winter, I worry about that, and a lot of people do too. Nobody wants this to suck. I don't want it to suck. I want this to be great. It's Scream 5. It's the horror film that I've been most anticipated for, probably, since Scream 4. I mean, I think of other horror films that I was hyped about, even Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, but Scream 5 was my most anticipated after Scream 4. When Scream 4 ended, I wanted to see a Scream 5 right away. Now, I've had to wait over 10 years for the next installment. I call it the sequel trilogy because I do believe there will be a Scream 6. Because there's no way this is gonna bomb even in January. It's just it won't. Um, I have that much confidence in this movie, um, and this would be the middle entry of the trilogy. So it would make sense if this film, a lot happens to the original characters, such as them being killed off, because not Wes Craven, Kevin Williamson always intended for the sequel trilogy to be passed on to a new generation of characters. I know things changed in production with Scream 4, so it wasn't really passing the torch on to anybody in the generation because everyone died at the end except for the original characters. I mean, you had Hicks, but it's not like she was one of like the kids, at the high school. Um, so yes, it is introducing new characters. I just don't know if like Hicks is really going to be a character that's going to stay around. But that was the only character that survived at the end with the original three characters. I think four was an introduction of what it would be like for the main three characters to be in the background and new, younger generation to be more of the focus. I think Scream 4 was like a good first act of the original characters not being as involved as they were as the first three movies. Even though Neve Campbell as Sydney, she was in this. She was in Scream 4 a lot more than Scream 3, and but really it was focused on these newer characters. But that's what made it exciting and interesting, is that it went back and forth to different generations. They're really just continuing that. That's why this is just a sequel, even though it's called Scream. It's a sequel to Scream 4. It's still passing on to new generation of characters, introducing new generation of characters with the original characters. I'm just really excited to see where this will go, because I definitely feel like there's going to be a passing the torch finally in this film that'll set up the sixth movie, and I definitely think that one of the, if not all three of the original characters of Scream will be killed off. We're for sure going to get flashbacks in this movie, and they're definitely going to do digital work. It's Paramount; they got the money, so they're probably going to digitalize the actors and with flashbacks. And who even knows footage that was shot for the first three films that never made it onto the box sets, right? That never made it on to anything. Like, what if there's scenes that were shot back with the original movie that we just never got to see, that they want to incorporate and say this is a flashback? I mean, we'll see what they do, but I definitely believe that they're going to do something different and give us flashbacks with this movie, which I think is going to help, because you see in those photos where it shows like the Stu's house with Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell. So there's definitely going to be a lot of twists and surprises, and I really don't know where the story is going to go, honestly, by this point. I mean, uh, it's they definitely got to do something original and new and fresh and something that makes sense, because um, the series isn't out of gas, but it could be if they don't, I'd say, reinvent the franchise, just do something new. Um, and Scream 4 was doing that, but it still played it safe. So like the original main three, they all lived at the end, which I was actually very surprised by that. I really thought one of them was gonna die. At first, I thought Gail um, was gonna die in Scream 4. At the scene in the barn when Ghostface stabs her, I thought that was like when I first saw it, I thought that represented, like, okay, the original characters are gonna go, and the first one is Gail. Uh, so I was surprised that she survived when I first saw it, and Dewey getting like hit in the face by Jill was out of nowhere, and then Sydney. I mean, it's amazing at how she survived Jill. You know, I mean, I know Roman beat her up really bad and stuff, but Jill stabs her like in the stomach like 2 times in the at the house, and then geez, and then she goes into her hospital room and knees. Oh my God, uses her knee to just like jab into her like gut, her stomach, where she got stabbed by her, and punches her there. Like, oh my God, like you've never seen Sydney get messed up like that before. So um, I was at the edge of my seat a lot with Scream 4 because I didn't know what was going to happen, and I was surprised that the main three did survive did survive that movie. I definitely feel that one of them will go. Maybe not all three, but one of them will. I mean, I wonder if they would do an Infinity War thing where they'd make this Ghostface like Thanos. Like, what if his motive is completely different from the motives from the first four movies, all the previous killers? Like, what if this is a completely different motive, you know? And that's what makes it like scary. Is maybe it's a motive that um, is a little more, maybe a little more believable than a couple of the other ghost faces, and is a little more interesting to the plot and the narrative. And uh, we just haven't seen that before, where Ghostface wins at the end, you know. And I think movies back then, at least when Wes Craven was making the Scream films, I don't think people were ready for that kind of style of filmmaking. But now we've gotten used to movies now where we've seen movies where villains win, or they're not the hero, but they win at the end. And Infinity War is a great example of that. Avengers Infinity War, and that's like many people's favorite Avengers movie, and that's where the villain wins. And how great of a movie that is, you know. I could definitely see a Scream film doing that, where the villain uh, is the one that lives out of all the victims. Maybe there's two that are like still alive, or three, you know, that are injured, and that sets up the next movie. Um, but how great of a twist that would be for the franchise, and a change that we haven't gotten before. So I think I've already mentioned a lot of this stuff before in my previous Scream videos about Scream 5. I've talked about Scream 5 since 2011. That's back when I thought Wes Craven was, you know, going to direct it. A lot's changed, you know, since 2011. Yeah, it wows me we're even getting a Scream 5. I literally thought it was never going to happen when Wes Craven passed. I thought that was it. I thought that they would end with the Scream show, like season 2 and like the Halloween special and all that. Like, I thought that was it. I thought that's the last we were going to see of Scream, really. And then we got season 3, which was surprising to me. It's actually still surprising to me to this day that season 3 even got released, because it was on the shelves for so long. I never thought season 3 we'd live to see the light and day of it. I'm kind of still processing that element now. It is full on numbing that there is a Scream film on its way, with the original cast, and they're going to be doing all these new things, and I'm just excited for a trailer. When a trailer drops, it's going to be very exciting. You know, production's wrapped, so I'm ready for a good teaser trailer. You know, a good 50-second teaser or something like that would be really cool. So hopefully we get a trailer not too long. But hopefully this movie comes out in November, you know, or December. And I know there's other big movies coming out. I know, but they it's still a better time to release the movie than in January, because Scream came out in '96, and that made 160 worldwide for '96, 160 million. And Scream 2 made the same amount, just a little less, I think. And um, that came out December 12th of 1997. And do you know what came out that month? Titanic and Tomorrow Never Dies. Like, a Bond movie came out that month, and James Cameron's like biggest movie um, came out that month. That's the films, probably even more movies I don't even know, that Scream 2 was competing with. And Scream 2 made that much money, uh, even with all those movies that came out at the same time. So I don't think it would hurt the movie at all if it came out. I mean, any movies that come out in December are never, the box office is affected. It just boosts up because it's December, there's not much to do, people go to the movies, and, I don't think Scream fans are going to mind seeing it in December. So I hope that hopefully they get it out before January. I really don't want this as a January release. And it also is like bad memory, like bad vibes. Like Scream 3, I was too young to remember any of this, but like Scream 3 came out in February, or right at the beginning of February of 2000. It did make a lot though. It did. In fact, it did make more than Scream 4, even though it didn't make as much as the first two. And of course that's the film itself, but also I think it was the month it came out. If Scream 3 would have came out in December of 99, I'm pretty sure it would have made like 10 million more, 20 million more, 30 million more. I mean, who knows? So never release a movie in January, February. That's like a horror film. Wait till like, I'm glad Scream 4 waited till April. They didn't make it a January, February release. That they said, oh, we're gonna get it out April 15th, and that wasn't too bad. That was April's not too bad of a month for horror movies. I personally, I think that's actually a good month for horror films. And then the summer, that's up in the air. And then what's always a good time to release a horror film is like right at the beginning of September, because it's like after summer and it's like before Halloween and it's like in between that time. And they could even have a big Labor Day opening weekend if they wanted with this movie. It's just, why, if it's completed, why wait to release it in January? I you know I hopefully they get the movie out sooner. But yep, that's my video, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Scream 5 has wrapped production 100%, and we are getting this movie finally. All right, talk to you guys soon. Peace.